So again, I talked about terminal. Really, like, don't be afraid of it. There's pretty much nothing you can do in terminal that will like permanently destroy your machine, or like you have to know a special code in order to like destroy your machine. And I'm just basically not going to tell anyone how to do that. That way you cannot delete stuff. So the most you're going to get is you're going to get weird cryptic errors, and I am here to help you with those cryptic errors. So if you ever come across those, just jump in Slack and like copy and paste the error message and like Slack it to me, and we can figure out what's going on. So I think everyone here said they've worked on the command line at least a little bit. So this is like kind of a review, but let's go over it anyway. So yeah, like it's a command line interface is like a way to access things without using like a lot of software, and it basically allows you to like run a machine from like a remote computer, which is really nice. It's actually really helpful. Like I said, if you've never used them before, you will get a little frustrated, but I promise you that it's like worth it, or it's powerful in ways that like make up for it in the lack of like UI or user experience. And also, I'm gonna give you all the commands you need, so like you shouldn't ever like feel like you don't know exactly what you need to type in. This is like a general command in a terminal. This is basically like so basically like this looks like gobbledygook to most people, but really all this says is, hey computer, use Python, which is a language, like a software language. Use Python to run this file called script.py and add these options, which is, there's an option called max size, which you can guess is the maximum size, and then you're giving it an argument of 512. So like, this looks really hard, but when you actually break it down, it's pretty simple. And most of the scripts that I'm going to show you are going to break down like this. So there'll be a Python, and there'll be a script, a file you're going to run, and then you're going to pass a bunch of arguments. And that's it. So if you really want to know, like, this is called the command or utility. It often integrates like a language or like a system of commands you usually use. This is the argument. It's often, for most of the cases that we're going to do, it's like a file you want to run. And then these are flags, parameters, options. They've got 1,000 names. These are basically variables. So in whatever is this script.py file, there's clearly a way to change the size of something. So you use 512, you could use 1024. Like, we'll have to figure out what those inputs could be, but that's what we need to know. Included here is like a cheat sheet. So there are a lot of like shortcut key commands for things. So I sort of showed like the ls command. One of the things that's nice about something like this is that when you also use like the up key, you get the previous command. So that's really helpful. You're gonna run a command and it'll break or like something will go wrong. You want to run it again, you just press up. So it's basically like a history command. So you can press up again and get a new command, up again, get a new command, down like is also history. So there's stuff like that. The other thing that I find really helpful is the option click command. So basically like if I just try to click in here and edit this, there's like no, like you're usually used to like a word editor where you can like click in and you can edit something. The way to do that in terminal is to do option click. So if I hit option click, now I'm like here and now I can edit anything. Oh, it's covered. I can edit anything that's like under here or like back and forth here. There's other key commands in that cheat sheet that might come in handy if you're like really interested in like being super efficient. But a lot of what we're going to do here is we're not going to type in like 30 commands in a row. We're going to type in one command. So you might want to edit it even in like a text editor to make sure you're getting it right, and then like copy and paste it into here. That works fine. There's like no problem with that. The other thing that I think is really important to know is that you will be doing a lot of work where it's like you're kind of working with like a folder or like a finder command. What's really nice is that inside of Mac in a finder, you can just click on the folder. You can hit Command C, like you're going to copy it. And then what you can do is you can come over here. Let me just clear this out. You can hit, so like one thing you do is what's called a CD, which is change directory. So this is basically saying I want to move to this directory. What is that directory? So I just copied the whole path of that. So now when I press paste, it basically copies that whole path. So that's going to be really helpful in some of the stuff we're going to do with dataset tools. Because otherwise you're like, wait, I'm here, but I want to go to this file. It's like, it's really complicated to try to figure out directories sometimes. Usually the easiest way is just to copy the folder and then hit paste here to get that whole path. Oh, lost my guy. Where'd it go? So anyway, if you want to look and like dig into the cheat sheet, that's there. I'll also say like after this class, if you're like looking for a command to do, I will often Google stuff. I'll often Google like how do I do X in Linux terminal. If you type in like Linux terminal or like command line, there'll be a ton of answers to say like, hey, this is how you do this thing, or hey, this is how you do your this thing. And often I'll just try stuff, which isn't like maybe the best way to go about it, but it works. It's pretty rare you're gonna break stuff looking up these commands. So don't like be afraid to like try some of this thing. The thing that's nice about is like Paperspace is like it's a virtual server. If you really destroyed it, you just like destroy your machine and start over. Like it's not like it's your laptop where like you now have to take it to like a hardware like person and get something figured out. Like with these virtual servers, you can just destroy them and start over again, and like it's not the end of the world. All right, so I did a little terminal demo. I'll do a little bit more when we get into the dataset tools, but I want to quickly jump into the datasets talk. Or I guess before that, are there any questions about either Paperspace or terminal?